for his dedication in teaching, even in the adverse situation. He is a source of constant support for my academic activities, and if I do not mention one thing, then it will be an injustice to him that he is the person behind this webinar. Professor Lakshmikant is specialized in practical ethics, especially in environmental ethics, sustainable development, animal ethics. He is also specialized in meta-ethics, philosophy of religion, and Western epistemology. His area of interest is Indian tradition and culture and virtue ethics. He was associated with Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, Simla, in 2016 to 2018, which is considered to be a prestigious award for philosophical quest. He edited 3 journals and written a book entitled Current Environmental Issues and Philosophy. He has 3 international and 28 national publications and 3 review and critical comments in his credit. Besides his academic pursuits, he was also served many administrative duties, and among them, officiating as Registrar of North Bengal University in between 2017 and 2018 is one of his important assignments. We're really grateful to Professor Lakshmikant for being with us. Today he is talking about why and what in environmental ethics. And this will definitely give us a lot of information about what environmental philosophy is. So I request Professor Lakshmikant to take today's web tour. Over to you, Professor Lakshmikant.
Thank you, Kashi Mohan Das, for giving this elaborated introduction about me. I'm a very small person, but before that, let me say a few words about your team. Respected Dr. Amar Saikia ji, the principal of Dispur College, Dr. Navin Saikia, the president of SCTA, Assam Kamrup Zone, the convener of this webinar, Dr. Rani M. Deka, the vice principal of this college, Dr. Jyosna Deka, secretary of Assam College Teachers Association, Kamrup Metro Zone, Dr. Jyotish Goswami, the treasurer, Dr. Mamuni Kalita, the head of the Department of Philosophy of Dispur College. I am really thankful for giving me this ample opportunity to say something on environmental philosophy. But before that, I have a powerful PowerPoint presentation. So let me present to everybody. Somebody is, oh, right. Yes, I'm just.
Ruby Bora, please mute yourself. Ruby Bora.
Is it okay now? Is it visible?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Okay. So, is it visible? Is it now visible?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, the title of my presentation is the why and what in environmental ethics. introduce what do you mean by basically environmental ethics. Environmental ethics is a part of practical ethics which examines the moral basis of environmental responsibility. In practice, the ultimate challenge is the conservation of life on Earth, but in principle, the ultimate challenge is a value theory profound enough to support that ethics. And if you go to the history of environmental philosophy, then you can find it was all started in the early 70s. Three most important thing is that one of the book which has been written by Rachel Carson, that is called Silent Spring in 1962, then Population Bomb in 1968 by Paul Ehrlich, and 22nd April of 1971 is generally observed as an Earth Day. Now these are the three pillars for which environmental philosophy or environmental ethics is developed today. Now, the basic some of the basic questions in environmental ethics. The title starts with why and what questions. That's why some of the basic questions are: why do we need ethics for environmental protection or environmental conservation? Is nature intrinsically valuable? If so, then how? What is the source of intrinsic value in nature? Is there any rights of nature? I mean, can you say that there is animal rights, or there are legal rights of the plant, or legal rights of the nature? If yes, in which way or how? And does environmental ethics rest on a mistake? Here, mistakes means the basic metaphysical foundation of environmental ethics is mistaken. If yes, how? Now, these are the point, which is some of the point which is basically asked in environmental philosophy. That's why I started with the why and what questions in environmental philosophy. Now, there are basically four regions for understanding and addressing the moral basis of environmental protection. Why should we need ethics to play a role in environmental conservation or protection? This is because the first one is because of social changes, because social changes have a moral imperative. The social changes which it was all started from slavery, the slave to human rights, imperative. These are all from. I mean, these social changes always requires a moral imperative. The second is value-based rationales for protecting the environment are widely accepted and persuasive. The third is reframing environmental debates humanizes and personalizes choices about environmental protection and biodiversity. If I say that this is my environment, I am preserving this environment for sake of me, my family, or my society, then it is a choice. And number four is understanding ethics will help us to make better decisions on complex issues. Now, ethics helps us to solve a problem in a complex situation. Whatever complex or whatever perplex situation may be, this value philosophy or moral philosophy will help us to solve the crisis. If you go to the definition of, basically, there are some conceptual clarification in environmental philosophy or environmental ethics. The first concept is, who is a moral agent? Nature or human being? Animals or plants? Ecology or the biodiversity? Who is a moral agent? Now, moral agent are those agents who have the freedom and rational capacity to be responsible for choices. Those capable of moral reflection and decision. For example, adult human beings. Infants and mentally retarded or infirm or insane adults are not moral agents. So in a one sentence we can say that who are moral agents? Only rational autonomous entities are moral agents who can give judgment and who can have the freedom to choose to, I mean free to choose. The second is, what do you mean by moral standing? We have moral standing if I have continued existence of welfare. My continued existence of welfare is value in itself. That means intrinsic value. As Shashi Mohan Das, in his introductory remark, says that in environmental philosophy, one of the basic question is nature intrinsically valuable? Whether nature is intrinsically valuable or not, that is a big question in environmental philosophy. So moral standing implies intrinsic value. For example, the babies, the children, adult, old people, women, different race and cultures, all are intrinsically valuable. Then even if someone is intrinsically valuable, then that person has a moral duty. Now, what is that moral duty? That which is owed by moral agents to those with moral standing. I mean, those persons have moral standing, they have moral duties. For example, it is wrong to kill our children. I cannot kill my children. I cannot kill human beings because I have a moral duty towards them. So, moral standing and moral standing is an antecedent, moral duties is a consequence. Then the basic philosophical issues in environmental philosophy. Who or what has moral standing and why? Does the environment have moral standing? What moral duty do we have towards those with moral standing? So one is moral standing, another is moral duty. If I have a moral standing, then I must have a moral duty towards the human community. But do I have a moral standing or moral duty or responsibility to the non-human entities or non-human world, including species, plants and animals?